Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Thank you guys for tuning in. We got a little bit of, I think, dry spell coming up with some warm weather. And it's going to be, by the time I think I can get in the ground, it's going to be about the middle of March. So today I need to prep for how we're going to plant these potatoes. I need to get a disc on this tractor, get this tractor set up to lay off some rows. Where I get this plow off, we'll take it over there and get the plow off and put probably the small disc on, and then of course put the feet and stuff on this tractor. So let's get some stuff moving around here, and we'll get ready. You know, this is kind of getting ready to plant some potatoes next week, hopefully. Lord willing, we'll get it all disted up and laid off and ready to go. So stick around. Something tells me I better check the fuel on this thing. Yeah, it's got fuel in it. I think it was flooded a little bit. I think my carburetor float or something was sticking in that. It was flooded is what it was, and it had to turn over. Well, there it is right there. You can see where the fuel come out. Right there is where the carburetor would have been. So another carburetor deal. So we'll get that figured out. Let's get this 140 out where we can work around it here. I may not put it all the way out in the sun, but hopefully this will be a different start. Now, I don't think I've started this thing. I think it's been a little bit since I started it, so we'll see. She never disappoints. Never disappoints. Probably what we're going to do, we're going to probably use the Super A feet. Guys, what this is, for you that don't know, so we're just going to lay off some rows. Now, lay off just means we're going to make a place to walk, which we're going to be behind each tire. And in the center, we're going to make a place to plant. The reason why I do this with potatoes is, you know, you can plant your potatoes a little deeper. And I'm probably going to cover them up with disc. I don't normally cover them up with disc because you can get a little too much dirt on it real easy. But I'm probably going to do it just to show you. Hopefully it'll be okay. I haven't covered them up with disc in years. This set of back feet here is normally, this goes on the Super A, but we'll use it on the 140. for now. For you guys that's done what I just did before, that can be a pretty decent little trick getting them in and out. It just takes a little bit of practice, but you can get it eventually, but it takes a little bit of practice. I guess I need to put me some key clippers in there. Sammy, I would have thought we would have kept them with the, when we took them off, I would have thought we would have kept them with it.
Where were those at?
In the ones for the 140.
Okay.
There we go. Boy, that just barely makes it in there, but she's in there. Okay, we'll go ahead and put the spring arms on. I didn't put that on. That is totally backwards. Wonder who did that. This lift arm, guys, if you're gonna put it on with your hitch on the tractor, obviously you use the outside of these bolts right here, but instead of hooking this way, which puts that lift arm right in line with that, I like hooking this way, which puts it kind of on the outside of that lift arm. If you don't have the fast hitch on there, it doesn't really make a difference. It's nothing in the way of it. But with the fast hitch on there, I like going to the outside. And of course, we can use this setup a little bit if we want to try next week, towards the end of next week, if we want to try to cultivate through the garlic just a little bit. The back feet will be already on there. So I was just thinking to myself what I'd do. I have a couple of set of discs. I probably will use these smaller discs here. Sammy painted them for us last year. I'll probably use these smaller discs to cover, and we'll set them right here to cover the potatoes. That's what happens when you organize your shed. You can't find nothing. Yeah, so we'll use these smaller discs right here to cover the potatoes. Of course, that will be something that we'll put on after we get done planting them. Now I got to find what's called my layoff foot. I did. I put it somewhere where it would be relatively easy. This is what we always use for a layoff foot. It basically is a shovel foot with the corners cut off. I don't know what the ideal was for the corners to be cut off, to be totally honest with you. I was thinking that I had a layoff foot somewhere that was almost new, but I don't see it. I was going to show you guys. Maybe in that pile right there somewhere, but we got to get the layoff clamp. So the layoff clamp is a special clamp that I'm sure, here it goes, in this box right here. I have a couple that I use. This is one that I bought from Agri Supply. That's an extra one. Okay. The clamp I normally use, which I'm making sure I got all my stuff, guys. Yeah, I do. Is right here. I've used this one. It's got some boogered up threads on it, but I've used it for years with it. So got a couple of extra ones here, which never seem to hurt. I did discover, I don't know if I said this on video, but when I cleaned up, rearranged this shed, I had put fertilized gear on the Super A. Found 2 of them. Didn't have to buy that. But anyway, all right, so let's go up here. So on this, what we want to do, everybody knows this bar right here as the layoff bar, which it is. And I did not discover until about, well, when I rebuilt these arms, remade these, or refurbished these arms and put on this tractor, I discovered that the layoff bar that I had for the 140 was bent. It was actually twisted in here. How it got twisted, I don't know. It's been like that ever since I had it. And my layoff foot would always be kicked back. But as you can see, this bar is level. We just want to put our foot lined up directly with that right there. That is the center of the tractor, that right there. So we want to line that foot up with that, and that's going to allow us to get our potatoes planted. Try not to leave this stuff on the tractor throughout the year. One thing, you risk losing it, honestly. Just like I'd made the comment the other day about making sure you get the fertilize brackets off of it. Because if they have some fertilize on it, and if they're going to rust, let them rust by themselves, not on the tractor. This little wedge piece here, it's probably one of the most common lost things there is on a 140. It's probably lost more than, I'd hate to think of thousands of those things that were lost. Okay, so we just want to put this on here now. And you want it loose enough where it'll slide on up in there, like so. And you want it straight. And I'll have to tighten this up just a little bit, and then I'll have to look and see if it's straight. Okay. Try not to bump your arms too much because it's not on there but a little bit. It could come back to me a little bit and twist around. So it could twist this way and come this way. I always look at this stuff behind the seat, guys. I think it's centered, but it could still twist a little bit more. Like that. And it could still come to me a 1/2 inch. Right there. Now would be a good time if I had a silver Sharpie. Perfect. If I was going to lay off, where would this matter? If I was going to lay off a ton of stuff, I'd want that plow point to wear evenly. And to be honest with you guys, I don't know if you've noticed, but this plow point, we might see if we can change it. but it wouldn't hurt if it was a foot that was angled more straight down. If you notice, this has kind of got a kick up to it, which is great for back feet, but for laying off land, it wouldn't hurt if it was down a little bit. We may see if we can adjust that down. We stole Sammy's wrench off his Super A here. I really need one for both tractors. It is nice to have. And we just tighten it up, and she is good to go. So now let's see if we can adjust that down a little bit. I'm kind of thinking no, it probably won't. But it might surprise me. I ain't quite figured out if I'm going the right way or not.
There you go.
I think this may work. It's kicking on down a little bit. It's funny how this thing's, all right, that's all the way. Okay, that's on down a little bit, so I'm happy with that. It's funny how you don't try something. I mean, it's been like that for years and years. I just never have tried anything on it, so, but it's good now, so we're good to go. And we greased these not too long ago, so they're okay for now. We may grease them again in couple of months, a month or two. Layoff ready. And this is what, like I said, this is what it's meant to lay off land. Some people will lay off everything and they'll hook a planter to this thing. I'm going to leave this wrench on the tractor, Sammy, because I'll need it for the disc. They'll hook a planter to it on the fast hitch and they'll plant right in that little deep ditch there. I've done it a couple years ago with some Hastings. It's okay, but you have to be careful cultivating because it's basically in a crater and it's very easily to knock off stuff over in there. Tell you what, let's go check some onions and see what they are looking like, and we'll come back and check the oil on that Super A. This shed is on a little bit of an incline, so I don't like checking the oil while it's in the shed, so that's why I'm letting it sit there for a little bit. Okay, what we're looking for is maybe some life on the bulbs we planted. Garlic is what it is. We're going to hit this next week with some cultivators. We're going to throw those cultivators on there and hit this. We planted some bulbs, so here we go. Yeah, I think there's one right there. It's got a little bit coming up on it. I think they're going to be okay. What a sad sight that is, guys. This is the only onions that made it through that dry weather that I put on it. That's my fault. But you live and learn. We'll get it. I should have watered that a long time ago, or when I planted it. So, yeah, I think we're going to be okay. This week right here will really it'll tell the story on it. It'll probably have quite a few of these little green shoots come up. And this leaves us enough for a couple rolls of tomatoes, a couple rolls of okra probably. And then we're going to we'll put that white okra in here, and then we'll put that Star of David okra across the way over there. Just so they don't cross, and then maybe a row of squash or something. So that's what will be here. Stuff that the deer normally don't mess with. They probably have at somebody's house, but here they normally don't mess with it. Green beans, sweet potatoes, over there where we can put electric fence on it. All right, let's check some oil. I was trying to think, make sure I told you everything I wanted to tell you about this. Let's see if we can, yeah. Get back here and get down real low, Sammy. Guys, you can see how that's going to work out now. Foot, and where to plant. And you can see it's dead in the center of that tractor. So that will be the potatoes. Let's check the oil on the Super A. Now we got it here. Now, what we don't, this is the full level. This is the minimum level here, minimum, full. What we want is maybe a drop or two come out of here, but we don't want it pouring out. Okay. So it's, yeah, see, just a drop or two. It's just right there at it, which is good. We'll leave it right there. What we don't want is it pouring out, because if it's pouring out, it's getting some hydraulic fluid in there, or, you know, some fuel or something of that nature. So that's good. It's full of fuel, and I'm happy about that. All right, guys, I told you the other day we had to keep an eye on your hoppers. They are looking fine. I forgot this ladder at a job, and it's an older ladder, and so my boss man said, look, that thing's so old, just don't worry about it, go buy another one. Well, fate had it, I had to go back to that job like a month later to get a service call, and they had put it up for me. And so I said, okay, well, we'll just take it to the house and use it to get on these shelves right here. I needed something. It's starting. It's springtime is here. Golly, everything's going by fast. Probably what will happen is, it all depends. You know, it may be a situation where I get Sammy to lightly cut over that garden a little bit. Probably first chance I get, I'm going to take the big disc, the 122 disc, and I'm going to cut over that ryegrass that we chisel plow for the sweet corn. We'll go ahead and cut it over and let it be dying back a little bit, and then we'll probably chisel plow it again right before we plant it. But quite a bit of that ryegrass survived through the chisel plowing. Quite a bit of this ryegrass where the potatoes are going died, but it had some dry wind on it for about 2 days that this didn't have. It rained about a day after I chisel plowed that, so that's the reason why a lot more of that survived. But that's okay, it's loose, it's not hard, it's not cloddy, so it should cut up good, and we should be able to work all that out. Oh, I meant to get my cuffs ready. Got plenty of cuffs, guys. I just need to find me some good IH pins, which I haven't tried those ones that Brandon sells. Brandon sells a pin that he says is nearby identical to IH pins. So I haven't tried his yet, so hopefully they would be. I may get a couple one day and try them. I try not to use some of the aftermarket cuffs. I mean, I guess they're all right, but if I can help it, and we got a original IH cuff, we'll use it. And we was able to get a few cuffs off of that toolbar. I got 4 off of it. Decent. I might can cut this off, but whatever you putting on there better not be too big, because you don't have a lot of loosening up room there. But we'll work on these one day, maybe when it's raining. Had a subscriber give us some disc. These are the type with the bearings. They're not too bad, but we got to get them apart and get them cleaned up and see what we can do with that. There's another one there. I think it was 3 in all, wasn't it? Okay, that's going to be a video. My thought was he gave us 3 of those discs we got to clean up. We'll get them going. We'll do it sometime here, because I want to do that hopper also. I got a hopper I need to clean up and get going. So we're ready to go. I need to check and see if my local store has some seed potatoes because I got about enough under the house I showed you last week for about a row. This year, this March, April, somewhere in there, will be our 5-year anniversary for YouTube. YouTube, seriously. And I say seriously, meaning there's a few videos that I have, maybe 10, that stretch back like 6 or 7 years old. But I wasn't, you know, hey, I'm going to make a go at this. And guys, I'm tickled to death, and I thank you. I hope and pray that we grow twice as much in the next few years as we have in the last 5 years. That would be great. That generally happens, and hopefully it will to us. It may not. If it don't, we'll keep on plugging along and keep going at it. But let's see, I think that's about all the house cleaning items. I still got to shell that Jimmy Red right there, get it ready to plant. Of course, I'm sure we'll be planting it before I have to too much worry about weevils getting in it. But other than that, y'all have a good week. I think we'll be able to disc some land next week early, so we'll film that and maybe get Sammy on the Super Race on. So y'all have a good week. God loves you. We'll see you.